Time for the Proceed Halftime Report. If you need seed, think Proceed. With us today, District Sales Manager Dave Gertz. Dave, great to have you with us, sir. Let's talk about the harvest and the yields. How are things going?
The harvest is coming along extremely well. Bean harvest, we had yields anywhere from that mid-30s to up to the upper 40s. With the drought conditions that we experienced this year, it's pretty exciting to have those kind of yields coming in. And corn yields right now coming in unbelievably well. You know, 130 to 180, wow. Over 200 bushels, and coming in at 17% moisture. One yesterday I talked to, he was at 14.5. So those are some of the early day products that we have, the 80-day corns, up to we've had some brand new 83 days that are just bin busters. It's just so exciting to be a part of this team with Proceed, and very exciting. Getting comments from growers calling and saying that they were happy with our recommendations and our products. In the number of years that I've been in this business, that doesn't happen very often, that they call you and thank you for your recommendations.
It means you're doing the right thing, right?
That we're doing the right thing with and that's why we have our Right Choice program. We have our program for our veterans, making things very, very good for the growers and for the things that are upcoming and the things that we have in the future. Along with, you know, I like to use this one. One of our canola varieties is called 300 meg. So if you want the big buck, you know, use 300 meg. And
there you go.
It goes both ways. The season coming next week.
Call Dave. You can always find out more at their website, proceed.net. Thank you so much for being here, the great things you're doing for our farmers and our military. And stick around, much more coming up right here on the Proceed Halftime Report.
Welcome into the Proceed Halftime Report. The Bison leading South Dakota 28-14 here after an exciting first half of football.
That's a lot better.
That is a lot better. The Bison, for once, aren't going to have to play the come-from-behind game. Let's take a look at how we got to where we are.
That's right. Senior Day today. Nick DeLuca honored there.
One of the 20 Bison seniors being honored today.
3rd and 13 for USD here just inside the 20. Chris Strevler takes it in.
We knew that Chris Strevler could run. We knew that he could throw, and here he shows off the legs getting in there. That's a big opening statement for South Dakota.
Well, USD opens up with an impressive drive, but NDSU responds with one of their own. Stick to RJ Urzendowski here on 3rd and 3 for 35 yards.
I'm still scratching my head trying to figure out how RJ got this wide open, and then he cuts it back in the field hoping for a few more blocks. That could have been a lot bigger play. It's still a very, very big play.
And they turn it into points. Ty Brooks finishes the 6-play drive from 8 yards out.
The Fargo South alum getting into the end zone. The Bison utilizing the rushing attack. We said it would be big. The rushing attack would be big. They're getting it done in the first half.
Bison back on offense here. A drive starting on their own to a major flip of the field here, though. Stick to Dimitri Williams.
Dimitri Williams, you know, we don't talk about him a lot in the passing game. We don't talk about him a lot in the run game, but he is doing everything today. He's got 90 yards, a lot of them on this play right here, the broken play, and he gets taken down just inside the 1-yard line.
Yeah, 77-yard reception there. Bruce Anderson finishing things off.
And Bruce, again, the power game. Good job by the Bison O-line getting some push up front. This was without Austin Coonert, who left the game with an injury before that play.
Well, the Bison defense getting after it. Stanley Jones bringing down Strevler and Derek Tuska as well on this drive.
Strevler has not looked comfortable back in the pocket. He's made a few questionable throws, and the Bison defense doing a good job of pressuring him.
14-7 still in the second quarter. Stick to Connor Wentz for 40 yards.
Good to see the big fellow rumbling and bumbling down the sideline there. We don't see him do too many yards after catch, but he gets a lot there.
Sets up true freshman Seth Wilson from the 28. Some heads up, hard-fought running here for his first career touchdown.
This kid was playing high school football this time last year in Wisconsin, and to see him get his first touchdown, a guy that lost his red shirt 8 games into the season, good for him to get into the end zone in the Fargo Dome.
Coyotes with some big pass plays, setting up Strevler on the score.
And we thought that Strevler might not run as much, but I think it's pulling out all the stops for Bob Nielsen and the Coyotes. He's big, 215 pounds. That's hard to bring down.
Bison with another answer. Ty Brooks for 54 yards with some real speed here.
4 rushing touchdowns in the half for the Bison. Ty Brooks with his second of the game. He's got 81 yards on 6 carries. Those are Lance Dunn numbers right there, filling in Dunn is out with an injury. Let's take a look at our halftime stats, brought to you by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers. And a tale of, well, 28-14. Bison with 381 total yards. The Yotes with 257. The stat that I like to point at, of course, the penalties, that's a little lopsided right there, but what can you do? The stat that I like, 7 of 7 for Easton Stick passing, 195 yards through the air. He doesn't have any touchdowns. He's got no picks. He hasn't turned the ball over. That is what we wanted to see out of Easton. We talked about him in the pregame show that we needed to see a big game out of Easton Stick. And right now, perfect, 7 of 7.
Exactly, and a big part of that, they've established a successful run game once again.
Time of possession, South Dakota has 15 minutes and 9 seconds. NDSU 14:51, negligible there. But USD has run 47 plays to NDSU's 26. So you'd like to see the NDSU defense getting off the field a little bit more than they have been.
Well, and another part of that is NDSU is scoring rather quickly.
That's
These
true.
are 6-play drives. These are 4-play drives. They're getting some big play gains in this one early on, some 20-yard plays followed by 40-yard plays, 30-yard touchdowns.
And as a defender, it's a lot easier to go out on the field after your offense gets you some points. We'll step aside. We come back here on the Proceed Halftime Report. We'll take a look around the Valley. Plus, there's a big game happening in the CAA we'll tell you about as well. That's next here on the Proceed Halftime Report. 28-14, North Dakota State leads South Dakota here on the Proceed Halftime Report. Let's take a look at some scores around the Missouri Valley Football Conference. A busy, busy day, everybody in action. We start off with Youngstown State at Southern Illinois, and Youngstown State just grabbing an 8-point lead. They were up just 21-20 not too long ago, scoring a touchdown in the fourth quarter there. There is a very interesting game.
Yeah, Illinois State, South Dakota State tied at 17s in the third quarter. This is especially interesting because everybody flops opponents next week. Illinois State, NDSU, South Dakota State versus South Dakota. This is going to mix up those standings if things don't go as planned.
Very interesting. Northern Iowa with a 22-7 lead over Missouri State. Nothing to be surprised about there. And Western Illinois picking up their 6th road win of the season. That's impressive. 45-0 over the winless Indiana State Sycamores. Now, I told you about a big game happening in the CAA. James Madison only has a 10-7 lead over Richmond. That game is at JMU.
James Madison, the #1 seeded seed.
Yes, seeded seed, very well. On the Proceed Halftime Report, we talk seeds. That's what we do. James Madison up 10-7 over Richmond at half. And Elon, who was the 6th seed in the most current FCS playoff rankings, they lost today. So we're going to see a shakeup no matter what here coming up. But we'll keep our eye on that Richmond-James Madison game. That is certainly interesting. Bison lead 28-14. We'll step aside. We come back, talk second half adjustments here on the Proceed Halftime Report. No need to talk adjustments. Just keep doing what you're doing. Let's go back out to the Fargo Dome. Second half action. Brian Shaw, Lee Timmerman, Ryan Gellner. Now.
Welcome back to the Fargo